Going live again. I am not because I want to, but because I feel I have to. If you heard if you heard that attack that just went out on me, you know, with all of that misinformation, you know, like we was talking about, a man is going to do what a man wants to do, right? And what he wanted to do was attack me. He wanted to do that, right? And he's going to gather all his information to attack me. He wasn't gathering information to know what was really going on, because there was no way he could have missed what was really going on. There's no way. If he was looking to have a pure heart and address things, then you guys would have seen a whole different live. No, he was looking to attack me and defame me and protect his church, y'all. And that's what it's all about. It's not about the Most High. It's not about Christ. It's about protecting the image of his church. That's what it's about. Okay? His Lord forbid you guys come over here and hear something, right, that'll make you want to walk away from over there. And that's all he's worried about, right? He has to make the venom strong and make the poison sting, right? So that you guys not even click on this video here, and sadly, a lot of them are really going to do that, right? They're so hung up on his word. And I was never like that, y'all. You know, and man, it used to hurt me when people would say that about me, because I was really looking at him, y'all. And I was really seeing him for who he was. And for a long time, that was a good person, right? When did it change? 2018. When did I see something else? 2018. When did the Most High told me to get away from around there? 2018. Okay. Now, when you go back through these lives, you're going to hear me talking about 2018 a lot, right? But I won't tell you guys what 2018 was. What is 2018? When the Most High start telling me, man, it's not right over there. He sees another church. How long did I have to hear that and hear the Most High ringing that in my head constantly? And it didn't get better once I saw that one thing that made me lose faith in the gathering of Christ church. It just got worse, right? It just got worse. 2018, I seen what I saw. I didn't like it. I knew it wasn't Christ. But hey, we gonna suffer long. We don't run off, right? We don't run off just because something's wrong. We don't throw a whole church in the trash because a few things ain't right. Nah, we gonna stick it out, right? We gonna have all the mercy in our heart and all of that. It's funny how we gotta have all of this mercy in our heart for people who are not trying to have mercy for themselves, right? They seem bent on destroying themselves, right? But we still gotta be, long suffering and all of these types of things, right? And that's okay. I'll do that forever. I don't mind doing that, you know. But it was 2018 when it was like, these guys are not who you thought they were. They are not as righteous as you thought. They don't even want to be as righteous as you think. They're not even struggling with things. They are deliberately trying to be wicked, right? And that's when I start seeing that. And the way he was scared the first time I met him, I could see the fear in his eyes. What was he thinking? Probably this dude is the real deal, right? He listening to this music just like all the rest of y'all, right? And I bet he heard it, man. If this guy right here get a whiff of me, man, this the end of me in this church. And he's kept his distance from me, right? And he never promoted me, and he never dealt with me. He always stayed far away from me, right? That's why he did that, right? Y'all looking at me and hearing in my voice who I am. Y'all knew. Why he didn't know, right? The Most High ordained who I am, right? The Most High knew. Why you didn't know, right? That's why the Most High had to pull me out of here, right? The Most High had to pull me out of here and let me know, like, yeah, what you feeling is right. What people are telling you is right, right? Everything what's going on with him, yeah, it's the truth, right? These are all the things he knew. He couldn't wait to do that. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to talk. He didn't have to talk about me like that, right? And he didn't give me no time to get in contact with him, right? So we're going to address everything he said. I could say some cold things about him. I'm not going to say that, right? I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to do that. And you guys, please don't dog him out, Don't talk bad about him, because we're not going to do that. We have to be true, and we can't be no liars, right? It can't be false. It can't even be a white lie. You better go listen to No Gal. I really live by that, okay? Don't do what? I'm not going to do nothing. I'm not going to do nothing, y'all, right? I'm not going to do nothing. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to try to rip nobody's head off their neck, right? Mine is off my neck, of course, but that's okay. We just gonna ride that out, right? Yeah, my head is off my neck. I'm a horrible person. I'm a deceiver and all of this, but see where he messed up at and what he don't know is that he can't tell you guys nothing about me. Okay? I'm not one of these other brothers in the past who the I am didn't know, and you could paint the picture for them of who people were. You can't paint the picture of who I am to the people. The people know who I am. They know me better than they know you. Okay? When you was way overseas and doing what you was doing over there, I was here, reachable with the people. They know me. We have relationships, personal relationships. Okay? You're the one on the outside of that loop. Okay? I'll never walk through y'all with security. I lay down and close my eyes and go to sleep around y'all. Okay? This ain't that. This ain't what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell these people nothing about me. This is my family, right? It's your church, but it was my family. Okay? I was the one sleeping around these people. Okay? I don't even feel right calling you these people. This is my family. They know me. Okay? You can't paint no picture for them who I am, right? And the people with farms, they stood to gain, right? That's not my farm. My farm is not your farm. Your farm is not my farm. Okay? My farm is not your farm. You're not in California. He's saying my personal endeavors. I don't have no stake in your farm. Your farm is your farm. And the people around your farm that was going to be coming and getting your produce, that's between y'all. I don't have anything to do with that. But I bet you one thing I was going to do was help and send you stuff, right? Get you a 501c3, 100,000 or better, right? That's between you. I don't have nothing to do with that. Who wouldn't want to develop their farm? And a lot of us had land just sitting there forever, don't know what to do with it, done had it for years, can't get off the ground, right? And you was about to get you a grant for 100,000 or better and develop your farm. What that got to do with me? Nothing. Besides what was going to come in the mail for you to help you. See, that's what he don't know, right? But he put me out there like in Elder Lawyer's words, a charlatan, right? I loved it every time he used that word, a charlatan. Matter of fact, shout out to Elder Lawyer, man. You know, love Elder Lawyer, man. Never a sideways feeling ever about Elder Lawyer, man. Praise the height. You know, but this other guy, Elder Ricard, man, you know, he always hated me, man. And I love that guy. He's my elder. I love him right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't got nothing against him right now. I wish he was a little braver because he's scared. He's scared of everything. You can look at him and see his fear. He's just afraid. Why you afraid, brother? What you scared of, man? Chill out, man. Nobody want to, hurt you or do nothing to, you know. He don't even believe I'm off grid. He think I'm lying. He think everything that I said was a lie. He don't believe nothing, and you hurting yourself with that, right? And with all of that fear, you cannot love. He don't love me, right? It's too much fear, right? Scared. What you scared of, man? I ain't came in this truth and harmed not one person since I've been in it, right? I I don't want to see you drop something out your hand, right? I don't want to see you bump into anything. I don't want to see any harm come upon anybody, right? That's not in my soul, right? I don't want to see anything happen to anybody, right? I don't want to see anybody be the least bit disappointed. I hope everything you hope comes true. And I hope it's harmless to you when it does, because we can want things that ain't good for us. You know what I mean? I hope everything you hope is A1 and good for you, and it comes true, and all of that. So this defamation of character wasn't cool what he did, and you know that's why I was done. I told him he didn't read y'all all of them texts, and he didn't uh tell you the full situation, right? I live off grid. When my generator is not going, I have no communication. I have no power. My power, uh, it powers my Starlink, which is all of my internet connection, my text. The phone acts stupid when my Starlink is not going. Nothing works out here without the Starlink. The Starlink doesn't work without the generator. Okay? And we could have talked about this, and we could have had this conversation if he would have waited. He make people wait 10 years, you know what I'm saying? Whenever it's time to get in touch with him, and we always just supposed to understand, oh, he's busy and all of this, and oh, he does all of that, right? And he leave you waiting for some answer for 10 years, right? Can't get in touch with him. I've had his number for a long time. He don't answer my texts. He don't answer my calls, right? I call him, he say don't call, text. I text him, he say don't text. You got to get on the phone right now, right? If I can't get on the phone right now, if I'm in a dialysis treatment and I got nurses working all over me, then he has an attitude and he can't wait, right? Come on, man. What part of the Most High is that? You're not under. We gotta be understanding. You know, we gotta understand uh one another. We gotta be gentle. You can't be like that, man. That ain't right. That's not a right way to be. You know, you can't be like that, man. You know, and you run into your camera before you know what's up, right? And it's in his character to do that, and it's up his alley to do that. And he's not gonna feel bad, right? He's not gonna feel bad about it. He's never gonna acknowledge that he made any mistake. He's never gonna hear that you got to give people more time than that. You couldn't give me one day. You couldn't give me time to go get hooked up to these machines and all. And you're doing this to a man who is not fully well. What part of Christ is that, man? You know, y'all should be trying to get over here and put some oil on me. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. You know what I mean? You visit everybody else. Why you didn't visit me if you love me so much and you supported me so much? Why you didn't come and visit me? You know what I'm saying? Why you didn't send nobody for me? Right? Nobody came to my hospital room, right? Not one person out of this church, right? I was right across town. Where was y'all? Right? But that's okay. I never minded that. You're barely hearing me say that. I never would have said that, right? But that don't change what the Most High pulled me out of here and showed me, right? And he didn't even show me that. That wasn't even involved. That I already knew. He didn't even say nothing about that, but he did tell me what I need to do going forward. Okay? But we gonna get into it though, and we gonna address everything you said. I really am off grid. I really don't have any communication unless I pay for gas and put it in my generator, and my generator is running. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not. I don't have any stake in anybody else's farm. Their farm is their farm. I have no stake in their farm. The food that they're going to grow, I have no stake in. The people who are going to come and get that food, I may do that. I may be involved in some of the people that's showing up to your farm buying your food. See what I'm saying? And ask the person with the farm if they mind getting a farm built and if they mind people coming and buying the produce that they grow. Ask them if they mind that, you know. But that's the power that he has over a lot of us, you know. That's the power that he has. A lot of these people who've been looking at all of this land that they have and hearing what I'm talking about and got excited about it, they're now, since he said, they're going to just drop their shoulders and, oh, I guess I can't get my farm done. And I guess I can't, we can't eat healthy. I guess we got to keep going to Walmart. And you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are going to do that and they're going to throw themselves under the bus and keep suffering this man's atrocities. You know what I'm saying? And y'all going ahead and do that. You know, y'all going ahead and keep on doing that. But when the Father is ready, when the Father says no more, when the Father says this is the last day that you will do this, then that will be your last day. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, today is not their last day, right? And they still have to suffer that, right? I'm sorry this is happening too, fam. Believe it or not. I'm sorry, right? And that's that sorrow I was telling y'all about on the last video. You know, it's sad. It hurts, but it only hurts because we love him, right? But he never loved us, right? Or his love is I won't say he don't love us. He loves us, but his love has conditions, right? It's a conditional love, right? If I gotta walk through here without these security guards, that's where my love stops. Give me my security, right? Give me my this and my that, right? And all of these people around him, I mean, there's no talking to these folks, right? And have that. Who is any of us to tell any of us what we can't have? Things are going to be right in this earth and things are going to be wrong in this earth. And the things that are wrong in this earth, they're going to be wrong until the Most High pulls that plug, right? But in the meantime, between time, he's going to free the sprinkles of people that he frees, right? Now, don't worry about the video. Us us who locked in, we was listening to that whole video like that's not bronze you're talking about. And that's why I'm lagging on playing the video and actually correcting everything because the people who matter already know. And it's a whole bunch of y'all. It ain't two of y'all. It ain't five of y'all. It ain't 20 of y'all. It ain't 100 of y'all. Okay? It's a whole bunch of y'all that know everything that came out his face on that broadcast was bogus. Okay. And what he's trying to do is taint what we're doing going forward. He already knows I'm gone. He knows that, right? What he's trying to do is give us an uphill battle going forward. That's what he's trying to do. And he's trying to preserve his church, right? He's trying to preserve what he's got going on there at that church. And I don't blame him. I'm with him. I'm with you, Elder Ricard. Nobody leave the gathering of Christ Church, okay? If you're there, stay there, you know? And I'm a bad guy, okay? I want to harm you. I want to do you wrong. I want to do you bad, okay? No gal is a lie, okay? It's all a lie, okay? Commandments of love, okay? The spirit that came through all of that stuff, it's a lie, okay? I sat here, I wasn't really feeling those things, and the Most High didn't really move those things through me. I just sat here in my own mind and I made it up. I was just that good at making that up, you know? It's not real, okay? All of that's fake, all right? He's right. Stay there. Stay at the gathering of Christ Church. Bronze is the bad guy. Bronze wants to steal your farm. Okay, I'm in California, but somehow I want to steal your farm. Your farm in Alabama or wherever it is, I want that to be my farm and my food, right? And everything. Come on, man. You know, but yeah, when I click that video and correct everything that was said, that's gonna be for the people who don't know. You know, 144. We got 144 people. Every time I see that 144, I get excited. I don't care where I see it at. We got 144 people in here right now. Oh, 152. No, why y'all coming all over here right now? Go back over there. No, no. I've been having no better than 100 people over here. Every time I do these lives. Nah, y'all go back over there to a gathering in 144. Go back over there. You know, and that's how I feel. I don't want anything from your church, you know. So all of this craziness you're going through to preserve your church and protect it, I'm with you on that, you know. I hope you keep every member you got, right? Matter of fact, everybody here, if you're listening, go join the academy, okay? Get in your academy, pay your 150 and join the academy. You know, go to historytimes.org, right? And do all of that and buy the calendar and donate to the Cash App and do all of that and sign up for the Patreon. And I'm on all of that stuff, man. But I'm the bad guy and I got these bad intentions. That's sad. That's sad, man. Nah, man. Nah, I don't mean no harm to nobody, man. You know, and if you could have just gave me a day and uh let these nurses work on me and do what they do, you know, every now and again when I need it done, you know. If you could have just let that play out, I would have called you. But see, I was already a liar and a deceiver and trying to do something, you know, atrocious to you. And I've been a bad guy and, you know, all of this. And if you working with feelings like that, then yeah, and you know, I never had a chance, right? I love them guys, man. I wanted to be one of them cats, man. I wanted to be one of them guys, man. That was my dream, you know, to sit in one of them seats beside them while they're doing a broadcast or something, you know. oh, look at Bronze. He done made it up there with the elders. You know what I'm saying? I wanted nothing more than that. That drove me a lot in my walk, to just be accepted by them guys. And now I see why it never happened. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be a rapper in the world. And now I see why that never happened. Because the Most High was like, you are going to be Brother Bronze and you are going to rap for me. Y'all don't know how many shoulders I done rubbed in that industry. And everybody who I put my music on for lost their entire minds, right? And I'm like, well, why it ain't happening? you know, I'm here. I'm where I need to be. I got the song I need to have. Everybody's going crazy. I was on the radio without a deal, and that was unheard of at that time. They wasn't dealing with you unless you had a deal and your record company had paid them money to keep you in their top 10. If that wasn't happening, you wasn't on the radio. I was on 2 stations, right? I was on 2 stations and sitting with the disc jockey while he playing the music. That was unheard of, but it never happened. Rubbing shoulders with all the stars. A lot of them know who I am, right? Those beats, those fabulous beats that you hear, I make those, okay? You know, and it should have happened for me, and it never did. Why? Because I was meant to be Brother Bronze for you, praised in a higher, right? That he ordained, right? And that stuff hit YouTube and reached millions, okay? Millions, right? And it's the same way, I guess. No, I don't want you beside Elder Ricard. I have another church in mind, right? And we just gonna be a little bit more careful. You know, we're a GOCC, but we're more careful. Okay, we're not gonna die in a hospital because we eating the wrong food. Okay, that's all. That's all. You know, we're going to plant our own food and eat our own food, and we're going to love each other. We're not going to just say we love each other. We're really going to love each other. Matter of fact, that's your crime, is a lack of love, right? And we going to see straight through that. Nah, that's a lack of love right there, brother. If you love a brother, you not going to do that. That thing right there that you just did, don't ever do that again, because that you don't love people that you do that to. Right? Real love, not the fake stuff. Real love, real support, support that you could feel, not support where you laying up in a hospital by yourself and you done died and came back and ain't nobody checked on you. Not that kind of love. Real love, okay? Real love, not the fake stuff, right? Marry who you want. Oh no, there's a 5-year age difference. Y'all can't get married. You don't tell 2 grown people in their 30s and 40s that a 5-year age difference gonna stop them from getting married, right? Nah, and that's cool. Hey, everything is cool, right? And that's our decision, and we have that decision, you know. We have a decision to be where we want to be and to go where we want to go, you know. And people, who want to be locked to lesser circumstances, they have their right to do that. right? Because love will have you suffer, right? Love is not about what you get out of it. When you love, love is not business, okay? Business is you give me this, I'll give you that. And everything has to be fair and everything has to be right, or else we're going to have a problem. That's business, okay? Business is if it's not worth me being here, then I'm not going to be there, right? That's business. Love, love ain't got to be giving you nothing. All right. And you can be pouring everything you have into what love is, and you'll be okay with that. Why? Because love is worth you pouring into, right? And building up and wanting to see better, right? That's what love is. And I loved the gathering of Christ church. Okay. It wasn't even about Elder Ricard. I loved Elder Ricard up to about 2018. Right. And that's when I was like, nah, brother ain't right. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't hold that on the whole rest of that church. That was only on him alone. Right. 2018. That was only on him alone, right? Nobody else. Him alone. And that's okay, right? That's okay. No problem. You know, I didn't hate him. I still loved him. Still loved him. Still would have did anything he said. Any problem he ever had with me, he didn't get no argument, right? When he shut down Brewtown, right? I hope he recorded that conversation. Play that one for him, right? Listen, say no more. I'm shutting it down, right? Say no more, right? When we was talking Hebrew, right? We had our little thing going. No, we can't discuss the Hebrew. You can't even discuss the Hebrew language. Okay, I shut it down. Everybody go to the academy and get it from Elder Lawyer. You know, we can't talk the Hebrew. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. Right? That was love, right? It's not business. That was love, right? But yeah, we're gonna be all right. Everybody, uh, we're gonna be all right. Things are rough when they're rough, but things do get better. The Most High, the Most High don't leave us hurting too long, do we? Think about it. You know, let's have faith in the Most High. Let's trust in the Most High, right? Let's trust in Him. He knows what He's doing. You know, we can't let the evil be stronger than His influence, right? People are going to do what they're not supposed to do. You know, they're going to do bad things, and we can't let that be stronger than the blessings of the Most High, right? We can't let the devil be stronger than that. But I didn't mean nobody no harm, no, and I tried to leave. Y'all all seen that. You all seen that. And none of this would have happened if I would have stayed gone, right? I left, right? What happened? Brother, please don't leave. Nah, but I gotta go do this. I gotta do that. Please don't leave. I gotta leave, you know? It's the Most High. It's not me. Don't leave, brother, please. No matter what I said, that's what he said, brother. You could do that with the church. Don't leave, right? So, you know, I don't know if it's coming from Elder Ricard or not. And whenever there's a problem, he acts like, you know, he's accessible and he can be spoken to, you know. I had his number. That didn't mean nothing. Now all of a sudden you call me one morning and I'm just supposed to be available immediately out here with my generator off and no communication, right? And then he hit up like, if you don't hit me back right now, right? I'm going live and I'm gonna destroy you, right? Immediately, okay? That's crazy. That's a hypocritical love. Remember I was talking about that hypocritical love, y'all? No. Mm-mm. Love cannot be hypocritical. Things can't be going for me that don't go for you. Things can't be going for you that don't go for me. You know, love is not that way, right? And whoever is talking crazy in this chat, I agree with you. I agree with you. You know, it's whatever you say it is, you know. That's what it is. Hey, who am I to tell you not to feel that way? You know, feel that way. You know, I'm a bad guy. I want to do you harm. You know, condescendingly speaking those words. I don't want to do you no harm. You know, matter of fact, matter of fact, I take the harm so that you don't have to take it. That's even bigger than not wanting to harm you myself. Matter of fact, the harm that was supposed to come to you, let it come to me. Right? I love you too, Lee. Right? I love y'all too. Right? And that's what he didn't understand. No, I've been in the trenches with my people all this time. Right? I ain't been speaking from no podium and then I go out the door and you can't come near me. Nah, I've been sleeping with my fam, you know. We've been sleeping around each other, you know what I'm saying? We've been accessible to each other, okay? Right? We've eaten each other's cooking and all of this type of stuff, you know. Our children grew up together, okay? Right? My children and your children don't have any other friends. They are they are their only cousins and friends and all. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You ain't talking to these people. You ain't talking to the family about somebody that they don't know. That's where you made another mistake. And he thought he was just gonna be able to just go live and defame me real quick and just throw some crazy statements out there about me, and it was all gonna be over. Okay, everybody get away from Brother Bronze. Brother Bronze is sitting over here by himself and just not this time. Not this time, brother. Not this time. But dang, it's 45 minutes, y'all. So I'm gonna go live and I got my little speaker here, right? Got my speaker. And we gonna play what he said. And it ain't an attack on him or nothing, but the things that he says, I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna give the real. And when I give the real, you are gonna be able to vouch because everything is documented out here. You know, everything is forespoken out here. You didn't know, right? And that proves how far you are from us and how distant you are, man. You know, you don't know what's going on. And when you hit your button on your camera and start saying all that you're saying in front of your camera, you don't know what you're talking about, right? Starch is a sin. Starch is a sin. What is starch? Look up what starch is and look up what it does to your body, right? Starch, carbohydrates, break down into sugar, doesn't it? White granulated sugar, doesn't it? Okay, see where that comes from. Keep studying, right? You should understand that. You understand how it is to have something be wrong and somebody don't know it. Somebody just don't have that knowledge. Does it mean that it's a lie? No, it don't mean that, right? And what does the Most High says not to do to your temple? Doesn't he say that if you defile this temple, you will die? Didn't he say that? Does sugar kill you? What do you mean? You know? Come on, man. Mm-mm-mm. And you will be made a believer when you sitting up in that hospital like I was, or when you face to face with that doctor and he telling you, listen, you got cancer. And then you're going to be desperate. And then you're going to say, well, what did I do wrong? And how can I get rid of this? You know, first, how did I catch it? Second, how can I get rid of it? Third, how can I never catch it again? And guess what they're going to tell you? You got to leave the sugar alone. Stop eating sugar. Stop eating meat. They're going to tell you you can't eat meat. Soon as you come down with that cancer, they're going to tell the doctor is going to tell you in the hospital, if you want to stay alive, buddy, you can't eat meat. He's going to tell you this. If you want to stay alive, if you want to postpone your life on this earth for as long as possible, don't eat meat, don't eat sugar, don't eat bread. It's going to break down into sugar and you're eating sugar at that point. Don't eat pasta, don't eat rice, right? When you go to that nutritionist and they retrain you how to eat, they're going to tell you all these things, right? And that's the higher knowledge that we're going into. That's the higher knowledge. That's the Hebrew that the Most High saw in 2018 when he started putting all of this on me. And I was disobedient for 5 years and saying, no, I'm just going to stay here with Gathering Christ Church and I'm going to forgive everything. And everything's going to be okay, right? And I'm gonna stay under another man's boot, right? And I'm not gonna shake the boat, and I'm not gonna look ungrateful and hateful and all that. I'm not going to look like all of those things, Father. I'm just going to sit here for 5 more years and be quiet, right? And then 2023 came, right? And the Most High filled me. He fills you up with everything you need to feel to go forward. So my first thing was, man, this food is poison, y'all. Right? And he made that clear. Listen, yes, I was telling you, get away from there. Get away from there. I got something else better in mind. Right? And shout out to everybody who been done wrong and booted out for all of them bogus reasons. Right? I won't go into that. You keep telling your own story. Right? Because it's bogus. And there's no reason to sever anybody from their worship in the Most High among your organization. That's it's crazy. Right? So all praises to the Most High, y'all. We just gonna keep on rolling. Like I said earlier, I really came on here to play his video and just correct the things that he was saying that he didn't wait to speak to me to clear up. He didn't give it no time, right? He hit me. I was off the grid when he hit up. I didn't get the hit the way I needed to hit him. You know what I'm saying? And it's like before I could get back, he just start going crazy. And he spoke to me really in a way that I was like, man, I don't even need to talk to you, brother, if you're going to be talking to me like that. And it's a good thing probably that we didn't talk because he think I'm a liar. And he's going to treat everything coming out my face like I'm untruthful and all of this. I don't got no time for that. I don't got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? All of this scrutiny and all of this fear and all of that. You could have just talked to me straight up, man. You didn't have to do that. He gonna tell me I'm not for the games. Well, no, that ain't what he said. What he say? I'm not to be played with. What? You not to be played with? And I hit the button right there, and I called him. I said, "What you mean? I'm playing with you? Like you think I'm playing with you?" And he was like, "Well, you didn't want to call and you didn't want to talk." I was like, "I told you because I'm here at dialysis. I got my nurse over me. I got all of these machines beeping around." I said, "You hear these machines beeping around me?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You want to speak to my nurse?" I said, "Say hi to my elder nurse." My nurse, Filipino cat, he, "Hello, sir," like, okay, you hear this? Oh, he understood then, but he didn't tell y'all about that on the broadcast. He didn't go into that. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been up his alley to go into that, right? Nah, we're not talking about that. You know what that is? That's guile. That's what that's called. And if you don't know what guile is, go listen to my song, No Guile, right? And it'll teach you about what guile is, okay? Can't be out here guiling. That was guile right there. Half truth is a whole lie, okay? That's what I believe, okay? You can't be leaving out things that are balanced and neutralize what you want in your heart to be happening, you know? And when we want something to happen in our heart, we want to tip the scale a little bit. That's guile. You can't do that. You got to give both sides. You got to give it pure. You got to give it pure as you see it, right? If not, you are a wizard, okay? You are a puppet master, okay? You might as well have strings and somebody back doing this, you know? working or moving, I don't want to do that. Be your own man. Have your own mind. Make your own decisions. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen if you ain't right in your decision. But it's up to you to go make that mistake for yourself. You know, I'm not going to try to keep you from making your mistake because the lesson often is in the mistake. Some people, you going to talk to you blue in the face. It's not going to matter. They need to go make that mistake. Let them go make it. All right. I'll be here with the bandages and the peroxide when you ready to come and get bandaged up. Okay. You can't stop people. You can't chain them to a chair. You can't do that, man. Go be a grown man and make your own mistakes. Right? Praise the higher. And that is his name. Right? You know, I'm not one of these guys who are gonna leave and then it becomes about something else and all of this. I don't have no vendetta. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not angry with anybody. I don't hate anybody. Okay, that's not the way of the electric blue. Okay, you'll never see that realm with any hate in your heart. I don't hate anybody, right? I don't have any ill feeling toward anybody, okay? I don't want to see anybody hurt. Even if you hurt me, I don't want to see you hurt. You're going to learn, right? And that's what this is for, I am. You know, things have to happen so that somebody like us can show people what you do when you're attacked, okay? And how to operate in love regarding that, right? I'm not going to say one thing toward him and try to tear him down and make him lose his whole church and all. No, keep your church. Have your whole church. Have everything attached to your church. Have every member attached to your church, right? And you know what the scripture says. Nobody can pluck anybody out of the Most High in Christ's hands. So if you see somebody get plucked out of somebody's hand, that hand was not the Most High in Christ's hand, because nobody gets plucked out of the Most High in Christ's hand. You know, and y'all stop acting like just because somebody leave that church, they done left the whole truth in the whole body of Christ and the whole, oh, I'm just, soon as I done walked away from this church, now I worship Satan. What are you saying? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You know, we just gonna be truthful and we're just gonna be sober. That's all we doing. We're just being sober and sober minded. You know, we make a lot of drunk statements, and it's like, man, you can't be in your right mind feeling like that and thinking that. No, that's not a sober thought, brother. We're here to think sober, right? Why? Because the devil uh run to and fro up and down in the earth seeking who he can devour, don't he? And if your thoughts are not sober, guess who's a good candidate? Guess who he gonna chew up and spit out, right? Charles Freeman. What up? Charlotte. Marlon is back, ready for more. What? Shalom, my sister Efisha, I miss you, sister. How you doing? Shalom. Lanessa Terry, Shalom. Let me shout y'all out, right? Mataza Doc, Shalom. Journey to Zion, Shalom. Right? Sister Lee, Shalom. Seth T, Shalom. Right? Ralph Kinsley, Shalom, Mark, I miss you. Love you. E from the truth. Shalom, Mark. Mm-hmm. Huh? My Ak right there. My sister Delise. Shalom, sister. Love you. Right? Okay, I can't call everybody out, but Shalom, y'all. You know, everybody stay in good spirits, right? Stay in good spirits, right? Fruit of the spirit is more important than who's right or who's wrong, okay? Whatever we do, let's stay in the fruits of the spirit, right? You know, but man, sometimes you got to peel a scorpion off your shoulder and throw it across the room somewhere. You know, you can't just sit there and just let it just sting you up. You know, you know, get get that thing up off you real quick. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. But we ain't gonna hurt nobody. We ain't gonna jack. We ain't gonna make up stuff. We ain't gotta far fetch or do none of that stuff that's done to us. We don't got to do that. You know, we gonna preserve people. We gonna help. We gonna help. We gonna help protect them. Right. But we over that hour. I'll be back soon, and we just gonna play this video, and we're just gonna correct. You know what was said wrong about us. You know, that's all. You know, and whatever you say, who disagree with me, you're right. I agree with you too. Right? Believe all things. Right? You right. You know, have it your way. You know, I hope in the future I can do some things, and I hope you let me live my evils down if I'm wrong to you. You know, I hope you give me a chance, like the books say, to let me turn things around if I'm wrong to you, right? And all that's going to happen, I'm not going to change. I'm going to be the same. But you are going to change in your mind. You are going to come further in your heart, and you're going to come around to seeing things the way that they are right now, right? You're going to get the brainwashing out of your own mind, and you'll be able to, you'll be able to put on the they live shades, right? But Shalom, y'all. I'm gonna catch up with y'all in a minute. Let me give me something to drink and you know, charge up my speaker, and then we're gonna play the video, and we're gonna correct what was said about your op. And if he's listening right now and he's in here right now, he probably gonna go take that video down. And that would be wise, But hey, people already done heard what you said, you know, you know. And I'm gonna also show you my land, show you how I live, and show you my generator running. Where if it cuts off, I lose all power. Right? My power is coming from a generator. My internet connection is hooked in to that power. Right? My the text don't work, the phone don't work when my Starlink is not going. Okay? Nothing will work. You know, if you're going straight to voicemail, my generator is not on. You know, nobody has to lie to you about that, right? And I have no stake in anybody else's farm. Their farm is their farm. I have nothing to do with that. I was going to help them develop it, That's all, right? Has nothing to do with me. Nothing, right? It won't have nothing to do with me unless I travel to that city and state and I taste one of those peaches or whatever they got going, or I order me a box, which would be no need to do that. We're all going to be doing that everywhere we are. There's going to be that, you know, the surrounding areas that don't have something going, they'll get shipped a box to stay away, a day or two away, that makes sense. You can order from somebody. What that got to do with me? Inside of the church, it didn't have nothing to do with the church, right? I'm not going to discriminate, right? Whoever you are, wherever you coming from, right? What's the difference if they're dealing with us or if they're going to, where they shop at, you know? I didn't say shopping at the grocery store is a sin. If you can go in there and find something that is not uh geared up to kill you, man. Come on, man. Just because your health is okay. You see that? But a lot of us is sick and got a lot of things going on, and we're looking at, man, how do I fix this? And if you haven't felt that pain, then you don't know about it. So that's why we can't blame him, y'all. He ain't sick. He ain't been sick. He don't know how this feels, you know? So we coming up on that 107, y'all. Y'all know how it go. I'm sorry, y'all. I meant to play the video. This was a wasted live, but of course ain't none of them wasted. Every time I hit this button, right, it's edification, right? And it's things to live by. But that's 107, y'all. Shalom. We gonna be back.